Left alone next to her alien mother's dead body, a human stranger became her only chance. Marcus Chen guided his cargo ship through the orange clouds of Kesara 7. The planet looked beautiful from space, but he knew better. Down on the surface, dangerous creatures hunted in the forests. Criminal gangs controlled the small settlements. Good people avoided this place. But Marcus needed the credits. The delivery contract paid well because nobody else wanted to come here. His ship's computer beeped. "Approaching Settlement 42, the automated voice announced. Marcus frowned at his scanner screen. The settlement showed no life signs. No heat signatures, no power readings. The place looked completely abandoned. "Great," he muttered. "Another ghost town." Company rules. He landed his ship near the settlement's main building. The engines hummed as they powered down. Through his viewport, Marcus saw broken windows and open doors swinging in the wind. Trash and equipment scattered everywhere. Whatever happened here, people left in a hurry. Marcus checked his sidearm and stepped outside. The air smelled like rain and rotting vegetation. His boots crunched on gravel as he walked toward the largest structure. "Hello," he called out. "Anybody here?" "I have a delivery for Settlement 42. Either way, he would mark the delivery complete and leave this creepy place. Then he heard it. A small sound, almost like whimpering. Marcus froze. He listened carefully. There it was again, coming from inside one of the collapsed shelters near the edge of the settlement. Every instinct told him to ignore it. Mind your own business on frontier planets. That was the golden rule, but something about that sound pulled at him. It sounded young, scared, hurt. He approached the damaged shelter slowly. Part of the roof had fallen in. Claw marks scarred the metal walls. Something big had attacked this place. "Hello," Marcus called softly. "Is someone there?" A small alien child sat in the corner, huddled against the wall. Her skin glowed with a faint silver light. Large violet eyes stared at him with pure terror. She couldn't be more than 5 years old by human standards. Next to her lay an adult alien of the same species. The body was clearly dead, probably for several days. Injuries covered her form. The predator attack had been brutal. "Oh no," Marcus whispered. He recognized the species immediately. Velani. Their pictures appeared in every xenobiology database. They were an isolationist people who rarely contacted other species. Their children formed powerful emotional bonds with their parents. The child made a small chirping sound. Her thin arms wrapped around her knees. She was shaking. Marcus's heart broke. He had seen that look before, the same expression his own daughter wore the day He pushed the memory away. That was years ago, another life. "Hey, little one," he said gently. "I'm not going to hurt you." She probably didn't understand Galactic Common. Most Velani never learned it. Marcus slowly backed out of the shelter. His mind raced. What should he do? The proper procedure was clear. Contact the authorities, file a report, let them handle it. But there were no authorities here. The nearest official outpost was weeks away, and this child looked sick. Her silver skin appeared too dim. She was dehydrated, maybe starving. He returned to his ship and grabbed his emergency kit. Food bars, water, medical supplies, and a portable scanner. When he came back, the child hadn't moved. She just stared at the wall, occasionally looking at her mother's body. Marcus scanned the area carefully. Predator tracks led away into the forest, several days old. The creature probably wouldn't return, but he couldn't be certain. He sat down outside the shelter about 3 meters from the child, close enough to help, far enough not to scare her more. "I know you're afraid," Marcus said quietly. "I know you don't understand me. But you need water, you need food, please." Just slightly, her hand reached out, trembling. She grabbed the water container and pulled it close. She drank desperately, water spilling down her chin. "That's good," Marcus encouraged. "Drink slowly, not too fast." This time, something different showed in her eyes. Not trust exactly, but maybe. Less fear. Marcus checked his chronometer. He had been here for 2 hours. He needed to make a decision. The Velani were particular about their death rituals. Moving the mother's body without proper ceremony could cause serious problems, diplomatic incidents. But leaving this child here alone meant certain death. Marcus thought about protocol, about regulations, about the safe choice. Then he looked at the small alien child, alone and terrified next to her mother's body. "Damn the regulations," he said. Marcus stood up carefully. He went back to his ship and researched everything he could find about Velani customs. Their death rituals involved wrapping the body in natural cloth. placing certain flowers nearby, speaking words of passage. He didn't have the right flowers, he didn't know the right words, but he did his best. Using clean fabric from his cargo hold, Marcus carefully wrapped the mother's body. He placed it in a shaded area near a cluster of purple plants. They weren't the traditional Velani flowers, but they were the best this planet offered. The child watched everything. Tears ran down her silver cheeks. "I'm sorry," Marcus told her. "I'm so sorry for your loss." Then at her mother's wrapped body, then back at Marcus. Slowly, with tiny, hesitant steps, she moved toward him. Marcus's heart pounded. He kept his hand steady, his expression calm. The child reached out. Her small silver fingers touched his palm. "That's it," Marcus breathed. "Come on, let's get you somewhere safe." As his ship lifted off from Kesara 7, Marcus looked at the small alien child now sleeping in his passenger seat. Her chest rose and fell with shallow breaths. He had just made the biggest decision of his life. No permission, no authorization, no plan. Just one human and one alien child heading into the unknown together. The ship's cabin felt too quiet. Marcus sat in the pilot's chair, staring at the navigation screen. Behind him, curled up on the passenger seat, the small Velani child slept fitfully. She made small whimpering sounds even in sleep. 3 days had passed since leaving Kesara 7, 3 long, difficult days. Marcus rubbed his tired eyes. He hadn't slept much. Every time he closed his eyes, he worried the child might wake up scared and alone. Again. His computer terminal glowed softly in the dim cabin. Marcus had spent hours reading everything he could find about Velani biology and culture. The information wasn't encouraging. Velani children formed something called empathic bonds with their parents. These bonds ran deeper than simple emotional attachment. They were almost psychic connections. When a Velani parent died, the child experienced severe trauma. Many didn't survive the loss. "Great," Marcus muttered. "No pressure." She stirred slightly, then curled tighter into herself. Even in sleep, she seemed afraid. Marcus had tried everything to help her feel comfortable. He adjusted the temperature to match Velani preferences. He dimmed the lights to levels their species preferred. He prepared food according to the nutritional requirements listed in his database. Nothing worked. The child refused to eat. She barely drank water. She spent most of her time hiding in the corner of the cabin, as far from Marcus as possible. Whenever he came near, she shrank back with terror in her violet eyes. It reminded Marcus too much of his own daughter, the way Sarah had looked during her illness, small and frightened and unreachable. He had failed to save her then. The memory still haunted him. "But I won't fail you," he whispered to the sleeping child. "I promise." The species could sense genuine feelings, even across language barriers. An idea formed in his mind. When the child woke an hour later, Marcus was ready. He sat across the cabin from her, maintaining distance. In his hands, he held a small photo display device. The child watched him warily from her corner. "I want to show you something," Marcus said softly. He knew she didn't understand his words, but maybe his tone would communicate something. He activated the display. A picture appeared. A human girl with dark hair and bright eyes, laughing at something beyond the camera frame. His daughter, Sarah, taken 3 years before she got sick. The Velani child's eyes focused on the image. Marcus touched the screen, advancing to the next picture. Sarah in a hospital bed, thin and pale but smiling bravely, then another picture, an empty hospital room, and finally a memorial stone with her name carved into it. "Her name was Sarah," Marcus said, his voice cracked slightly. "She was my daughter, I lost her. Just like you lost your mother." Marcus looked up. The child was staring at him now, really looking at him. Her expression had changed. The pure terror had softened into something else. Curiosity, maybe, or recognition. "I can't replace your mother," Marcus said gently. "Nobody can, but I can keep you safe. I promise." He played soft music through the ship's speakers. His research suggested Velani responded well to certain sound frequencies. It seemed to help. The child's breathing became calmer when the music played. Marcus also started talking to her regularly. Not expecting responses, just sharing his thoughts. He told her about his cargo routes, about planets he had visited, about his life before becoming a lonely trader. "Your mother's identification chip had your name on it," he said during one of these one-sided conversations. "It says you're called Lysa. Is that right, Lysa?" Marcus was preparing breakfast when he heard soft footsteps behind him. He turned slowly, careful not to make sudden movements. Lysa stood in the middle of the cabin, not hiding in her corner, actually standing in the open space. In her small hands, she held the empty water container from yesterday. "You want more water?" Marcus asked softly. Lysa took one hesitant step forward, then another. She walked across the cabin, each step deliberate and cautious. When she reached Marcus, she held out the container. Their eyes met. Marcus took the container carefully, making sure not to touch her hands. He filled it with fresh water and handed it back. Lysa accepted it. She drank slowly, never taking her eyes off him. "Thank you," Marcus said. "Good, you're doing good, Lysa." But that evening, everything changed. Marcus was checking the ship systems when an alert flashed on his screen. An incoming transmission, not standard communication protocols. This was an intercepted signal. His ship's passive scanners had picked up chatter on criminal channels. He listened to the recording, his blood running cold. Two voices discussed a valuable package on Kesara 7. A Vellani child, orphaned and alone, worth a fortune to the right buyer. Alien trafficking rings paid extremely well for rare species children. Someone knew about Lysa. Marcus checked his navigation data. They were still 3 days from the nearest safe port, 3 days of vulnerability. Another alert beeped. His proximity sensors detected a ship approaching fast, too fast for legitimate traffic. "No, no, no," Marcus muttered. He ran to the weapons locker and grabbed his sidearm. Then he turned to Lysa, who watched him with growing alarm. "Listen to me," Marcus said urgently. He pointed to a compartment under the floor. "Hide, go in there, stay quiet no matter what happens, understand?" It was cramped and dark, barely large enough for a small child. "Please," he begged, "trust me, get in." She climbed into the compartment, curling herself into the tight space. Marcus saw her trembling as he closed the hatch. "I'll protect you," he promised, "no matter what." He gripped his weapon and waited. Heavy footsteps echoed through the corridor. At least 3 people, maybe more, armed from the sound of their gear. A harsh voice called out. "We know you have the Vellani kid. Hand her over and we'll let you live. Resist and we'll take her anyway, after we kill you." He hit the emergency gravity controls. The cabin's artificial gravity cut out instantly. The raider floated helplessly into the air, arms flailing. Marcus kicked off the wall and slammed into him, sending the man spinning into the corridor. "Get him!" another voice shouted. 2 more raiders pushed into the cabin. Marcus grabbed a cargo net from the wall and threw it over them. In zero gravity, they became tangled immediately, but there were more coming. Marcus could hear them in the corridor. 5, maybe 6 total, too many. A plasma bolt sizzled past his head, burning a hole in the wall panel. They were shooting now, on his ship, damaging his systems. Anger flooded through Marcus. These criminals wanted to take a terrified child and sell her. They had invaded his home. Threaten someone under his protection. Not happening. Marcus pulled himself to the control panel. His fingers flew across the touchscreen. He sealed the bulkhead doors, trapping 2 raiders in the cargo bay. Then he vented the atmosphere from that section into space. The raiders inside started screaming. Marcus felt sick doing it, but he restored the atmosphere after 5 seconds, long enough to make them pass out from oxygen loss, not long enough to kill them. The remaining raiders regrouped in the corridor. Marcus heard them arguing. "Forget the careful approach," one snarled. "Blast through the door, we'll find the kid in the wreckage." Foam suppressant flooded the corridor. The raiders choked and cursed as the thick substance filled the space, making movement impossible. Marcus pulled himself through the foam. His lungs burned, his eyes watered. But he reached the first raider and grabbed the man's weapon. A quick strike to the head and the raider went limp. 1 down, 3 more still active somewhere on the ship. Marcus navigated through the foam to the airlock. He found 2 raiders trying to cut through it with plasma torches. They saw him coming and raised their weapons. Marcus dove behind a support beam. Energy bolts exploded around him. One grazed his shoulder, burning through his jacket. Pain shot down his arm. He gritted his teeth and fired back. His shot hit one raider in the leg. The man screamed and dropped his weapon. The other raider kept shooting. Marcus felt blood running down his arm. The burn was bad. His vision swam slightly, but he couldn't stop. Not while Lysa was hiding in that dark compartment, terrified and alone. He thought of Sarah, how he couldn't save her. How helpless he felt watching her fade away. Not again. Never again. Marcus charged forward through the suppression foam. The raider's eyes widened in surprise. Before the man could react, Marcus crashed into him. They tumbled through the zero gravity together, fighting for control of the weapon. Marcus won. Barely. He slammed the raider's head against the wall. The man went limp. Breathing hard, Marcus restored normal gravity. Bodies and foam dropped to the floor with wet thuds. He counted quickly. 5 raiders down. Where was the 6th? A noise came from the cabin, the main cabin where Lysa was hidden. "No!" Marcus shouted. He ran, ignoring the pain in his shoulder. Blood soaked his jacket now. His arm felt weak. He reached the cabin doorway and froze. The last raider stood over the floor compartment. He had found the hidden hatch, his weapon pointed down at it. "Come out, little alien," the raider sneered, "or I'll shoot through the floor." If he missed, he might hit the compartment, might hit Lysa. "Drop it," the raider said, noticing Marcus. "Drop the weapon or the kid dies." He lowered his weapon. "Smart choice," the raider said. He reached down and opened the compartment hatch. "Now let's see what we have here." "Hello, precious. You're going to make me very rich." Marcus lunged forward despite his injury. The raider spun and fired. The bolt hit Marcus in the side. Agony exploded through his body, but he didn't stop. He crashed into the raider with all his weight. They hit the floor hard. The raider's weapon skittered away. Marcus fought with everything he had left. His vision darkened at the edges. Blood spread across the floor beneath him, but he kept fighting. Finally, after what felt like hours but was probably seconds, the raider stopped moving. Unconscious, Marcus rolled off him. He tried to stand but couldn't. His legs wouldn't work. The burns were too severe. He had lost too much blood. He looked toward the compartment. "Lysa," he gasped, "are you okay?" Lysa stared at Marcus, lying in a pool of his own blood. Her expression changed from fear to something else. Horror, concern. She climbed out of the compartment. "No," Marcus tried to say. "Stay hidden, more might come." She walked toward Marcus on unsteady legs. She had seen him fight, seen him get hurt protecting her, and something in her young mind understood. This human had kept his promise. Lysa knelt beside Marcus. Her small silver hand reached out hesitantly. She touched his arm. The moment their skin made contact, Marcus felt something extraordinary. Warmth flooded through him, not physical warmth, but something deeper, emotional warmth. He felt Lysa's fear, yes, but also something else. Gratitude, trust, connection. Images flashed through his mind. Not his memories, but Lysa's. He saw her mother running through the forest on Cassara 7, carrying Lysa, saw the predator attacking, saw her mother hide her, then face the creature alone to draw it away. Her mother's last thoughts were of Lysa's safety. He saw more. Her mother's final days, injured but alive long enough to hold Lysa close, to tell her something important in the Velani language, to make her promise something. Marcus understood now. The mother hadn't been running randomly. She had been trying to reach human territory. Specifically human territory. Why? More images came. Lysa's mother working in a laboratory, discovering something on computer screens, looking frightened, gathering data, running. The images faded, but Marcus understood the core truth. Lysa's mother had been fleeing from something dangerous, and she believed humans would help, would protect her child when she no longer could. Lysa pulled her hand back. Tears ran down her silver cheeks, but something had changed. She didn't look at Marcus with fear anymore. She looked at him with recognition. "Marcus," she said softly, her first word in Galactic Common, practiced from hearing him say his name so many times. Marcus felt tears in his own eyes. "Yeah," he whispered. "I'm Marcus, and I'm going to keep you safe, Lysa." "I promise." With tremendous effort, Marcus activated his communicator. "Computer," he rasped. "Emergency protocols, lock down all systems, send distress signal, medical emergency." Emergency medical systems activated. She didn't move away from him. Marcus's communicator beeped. An incoming message. He managed to tap it open. A woman's face appeared on the small screen. She had kind eyes and dark skin. "This is Dr. Amara Okonkwo at Research Station Meridian. I received your distress signal." "What's your situation? Can you help? There could be serious legal consequences." "And Marcus, what you're doing? It's brave, probably foolish, but brave." But they were secured now. No longer a threat. Marcus felt Lysa's breathing slow as she fell asleep against him, exhausted from fear and trauma, but alive, safe, for now. Research Station Meridian appeared on the view screen like a small jewel floating in space. Its white panels reflected starlight, docking ports extended like welcoming arms. Marcus had never been so relieved to see another human facility. 2 days had passed since the raider attack. His injuries had stabilized with the ship's automated medical systems, but he still felt weak. Lysa had stayed close to him the entire journey, rarely leaving his side. "Approaching Station Meridian," the ship's computer announced. Docking sequence initiated. A moment later, the airlock cycled open. Dr. Amara Okonkwo stood waiting with 2 medical technicians. She was shorter than Marcus expected, with intelligent eyes that took in everything at once. Her gaze moved from Marcus's bandaged wounds to Lysa hiding behind his legs. "Welcome to Meridian," Dr. Okonkwo said warmly. "Let's get you both to medical immediately." Lysa nodded slightly, surprising Marcus. The child was learning to understand more human gestures every day. While medical technicians treated Marcus's burns, Dr. Okonkwo examined Lysa. She worked slowly and carefully, explaining everything she did. Lysa remained nervous but didn't pull away. "She's malnourished and dehydrated," Dr. Okonkwo said, "but nothing we can't fix. Her empathic centers show signs of severe trauma, which is expected given what she's experienced. However," she paused, studying her scanner readings, "there's something unusual here. Their empathic abilities are usually limited to their own kind. Breaking that bond would be devastating for her." "Did she leave any data, any information?" "Velani encryption is sophisticated, but let me try something." "Marcus, you need to see this," Okonkwo said, her voice shaking. "It's affecting the Velani population, has been for years, but their government has been hiding it from the galactic community." She had discovered the plague's origins and its devastating effects. Millions of Velani were sick, thousands dying. "Why hide it?" Marcus demanded. "Why not ask for help?" On being self-sufficient, admitting they need help from other species would destroy their political structure. Comparisons between Velani and human DNA highlighted sections indicating compatibility. "Humans have a genetic marker," Dr. Okonkwo explained. "Something in our immune system that could help create a cure for the Velani plague." Lysa's mother discovered this. She was trying to get her research to humans who could help. "Warning," the computer announced. "Unidentified vessel approaching. They are hailing us." "This is Commander Thel of the Velani Authority," he said. "We have tracked a stolen child to your facility. Return her immediately." "You have no legal right to hold her. Surrender her now or face military action." "That information is classified. You will delete all copies immediately. Return the child and all research data, or we will board your station by force." If they want to take Lysa by force. These officials cared more about protecting their secrets than saving lives. They would kill a child, suppress a cure, let millions die, all for politics. "No," Marcus said firmly. "This is wrong. The galaxy needs to know the truth. Including children like Lysa, isn't that worth it? I'm uploading everything to the Galactic Information Network. Every news service, every government database, every research institution. Once it's out there, they can't suppress it. But they're already launching boarding craft. They'll be here before the upload completes. Stillhead charge, I'll slow them down." Okonkwo and Lysa ran toward the communications center. Marcus moved to the station's main airlock. Through the viewport, he saw the Velani boarding craft approaching fast. He sealed the inner doors and positioned himself behind a cargo container. His hands were steady despite the fear racing through him. The airlock began cycling. They were coming through. Marcus thought about Sarah, about promises made to dying children, about second chances and redemption. He thought about Lysa, scared and alone, depending on him one more time. The airlock door opened. Velani soldiers poured through, weapons ready. Marcus took a deep breath. "Come on then," he muttered. "Let's see what one stubborn human can do." The soldiers saw him and raised their weapons. Marcus raised his weapon too. In the communications center, Dr. Okonkwo watched the upload progress. 90%, 95. Lysa stood beside her, small hands pressed against the door. Her empathic abilities could sense Marcus beyond it, sense his determination, his fear, his love. "Marcus," she whispered, her second word in Galactic Common. The upload hit 100%. "It's done," Dr. Okonkwo breathed. "The truth is out there." The whole galaxy knows now. They were looking at their communication devices. Commander Thell's face appeared on every screen throughout the station. "Stand down," he ordered his soldiers. His voice sounded defeated. "The mission is compromised. The information has been released." They hadn't expected their mission to end this way. Marcus slumped against the wall, his legs finally giving out. The adrenaline was fading. Pain from his injuries rushed back in. The communications center door opened. Dr. Okonkwo emerged with Lysa. "Marcus, doctor." Okonkwo rushed to him. "Are you hurt?" "The Vellani can't suppress it anymore." "Still here?" Other species added their voices, demanding transparency and cooperation. Most importantly, messages began arriving from Vellani civilians, families who had lost loved ones to the plague, scientists who had suspected the truth but been silenced, ordinary people demanding their government accept help. The political pressure became overwhelming. 3 days later, a new Vellani delegation arrived at Station Meridian. Not soldiers this time, diplomats and medical professionals. The lead diplomat was an older Vellani woman with silver skin that had dimmed with age. She approached Marcus and Lysa with genuine sadness in her eyes. "I am Ambassador Sierra," she said in careful galactic common. "I come to apologize. Our government's actions were unforgivable. We prioritized pride over lives, over children like Lysa. The cure development has begun. Because of what you did, because of what Lysa's mother sacrificed, millions will live." Her empathic connection to him pulsed with anxiety. "She doesn't want to go," Marcus said quietly. Ambassador Sierra nodded slowly. "I understand. After everything she has experienced, being separated from you would be traumatic." She paused. "What do you want, human?" "For the child. But I also want," his voice caught, "I want to be part of her life if she wants me." Ambassador Sierra's expression softened. "The bond between you is clear. Breaking it would harm her greatly." She thought for a moment. "What if we proposed something unprecedented, a shared custody arrangement? Lysa could spend time with you, learning about humans and traveling the galaxy. She could also spend time on the Vellani homeworld, learning about her heritage. After what happened, our government is making many changes, cross-species adoption programs, cultural exchange initiatives. We are learning that isolation was our weakness, not our strength. Lysa could be the first example of a new way. I would be willing to serve as a liaison, to help Marcus understand Vellani cultural practices, to ensure Lysa receives proper care for her empathic development. Your role in revealing